Hello, this is your weekly space news roundup for the 8th of August 2021, read by me, Philip Day of GiantLeapers. In today's episode, Inmarsat announced a new space-enabled communications network called Orchestra. SSTL and Airbus Defence and Space collaborate on quantum satellite, generating a paradigm shift in mission flexibility. Prime Minister Boris Johnson opens a new £35 million Airbus Defence and Space HQ in Stevenage. Two spacecraft with significant UK contribution swoop down on Venus at the same time as one another. The UK Space Agency launched the second phase of their LEO programme, a startup accelerator programme powered by Entrepreneurial Spark, whose co-founder and director gives us an exclusive. And the hashtag Job of the Week this week comes from Alba Orbital in Glasgow, the startup which GiantLeapers will remember completed the Y Combinator Accelerator and completed a successful funding round earlier this year. They now continue to expand their team. Find us on patreon.com/GiantLeap for unique membership perks such as access to our Discord server and early Roundup releases. If you'd like to feature your job as Job of the Week, or you simply need to either visit our awesome space merch store or find out more about other formats, head over to giant-leap.space. The UK Satcoms giant Inmarsat continues to lead the pack. Depending on where you are and what you're doing, traditional geo-satellite communications aren't always the best solution for the customer. There are major benefits to geo-communications for remoter parts of the Earth, but compared with a 5G network in a city or port area, geo can appear high latency and low bandwidth. To combat this problem, Inmarsat and Airbus Defence and Space have worked together as a UK powerhouse of satellite manufacturing prowess to produce a mesh-networked solution. Orchestra will operate throughout the L-band to help satellites in orbit to remain relevant and competitive right through their service life. The idea is that GEO, LEO and 5G assets will all work in concert to provide the highest quality connectivity to anywhere in the world. Nobody before has brought these assets together into a single network that benefits from the strengths of each of those systems. The network will be using a new technology, which the company calls Dynamic Mesh, which means that alongside Inmarsat assets, user terminals can also mesh together to act as nodes in a wider, partially self-supporting network too, perhaps not unlike the early World Wide Web. Initially, Inmarsat plans to invest about $100 million over 5 years to 2026, which includes initial Earthbound solutions, which will eventually support a LEO constellation of up to 175 satellites, says CEO of Inmarsat, Rajiv Suri. SSTL teams up with Airbus to create a paradigm shift in orbital communications technology for Eutelsat. The Eutelsat quantum satellite will help to take the satellite communications industry through a quantum leap in mission flexibility. Currently, satellites are launched for a single purpose with their mission profile set at the design stage of the satellite. From design freeze through to satellite end of life can easily last over 15 years, by which point the changing situation here on Earth can often mean that otherwise usefully placed assets become obsolete before their end of life. Seeking to improve the longevity of engineered solutions on orbit, the companies have opted for a phased array antenna, which allows the platform to modify waveforms, wavelengths, gain and available bandwidth through commands which can be sent to the onboard software controlling the array. For those who aren't familiar, an array antenna works very differently from the sorts of aerials that you might be familiar with. A dipole, whip or other radio aerial that you might be thinking of for a walkie-talkie is an omnidirectional antenna, just an aerial that can send and receive in all directions. It transmits like a bare light bulb. That TV aerial on the roof is a Yagi antenna. It's more directional. That's why you get great TV signal when you point it at the tower and not so much elsewhere, even on one leg with an umbrella in your hand. Think of it more like a torch than a light bulb. The problem is, in space right now, you can select one type of antenna. It could be a torch with a wide or a narrow beam, in blue or white or any colour you like, but once it's designed and built, it will never ever change. A phased array is more like a Philips Hue LED light. It can change its brightness, colour and even directionality through the commands it's sent. Same antenna array, different output characteristics. All of this means that Quantum Satellite Mission, which launched atop an Arianespace rocket last week, will be able to be the leopard that changed its spots to suit the optimal mission needs of today, and change them again for tomorrow as soon as she reaches her final geostationary orbit. Ben Stocker is Project Director at SSTL. The Eutelsat Quantum program presented many challenges for SSTL to overcome during the development of the satellite system design, mechanical design, propulsion system and key subsystems within the satellite platform. The skills and knowledge gained through successfully overcoming these challenges has enabled us to refine our engineering approach, especially for markets and applications where system reliability and availability are key requirements, and, with the continued support of the UK Space Agency and European Space Agency, has put us in a very strong position to deliver our exciting upcoming Pathfinder missions. The Prime Minister officially opens a new Airbus HQ in England. Airbus Defence and Space are the biggest space company in the UK, employing over 3,000 staff. For many years, they've been producing some of the most impressive spacecraft technology and outputs from some buildings which have been starting to show their age. Alongside groundbreaking Mars rover designs have been buckets to catch the rainwater. Airbus decided to invest in their UK facilities by embarking upon a project to build a new design and headquarters building in Stevenage. £35 million later, this impressive building was opened officially by Boris Johnson this week, who commented, "It was fantastic to visit Airbus in Stevenage today," he said.
I'm about to open another £35 million centre for the manufacture of satellites. You'll remember that a few months ago, perhaps over a year ago, we did a deal to buy the OneWeb satellite system, so we have lots of low Earth orbit satellites to provide invaluable services for people around the world, but also to drive jobs and growth here in the UK.
Airbus have partnered with OneWeb to design the up to 650 satellites which make up the OneWeb constellation. Many GiantLeapers will know OneWeb satellites are physically built in Florida, USA, but may not know that Europe's largest space company, Airbus, is behind the design, and indeed built the first 10 satellites in clean rooms in southern France's Toulouse, where the company has an enormous presence. Next week, Venus takes centre stage. 2 spacecraft missions with significant UK interests are currently hurtling towards Venus for a slingshot manoeuvre known as a gravity assist. If you'd like an explanation of what a gravity assist or slingshot actually is, let me know and I'll produce a short explainer video for you. The first to reach the planet will be the Solar Orbiter, a European Space Agency and NASA vehicle which was actually built here in the UK. She will fly by Venus for the second time as she attempts to shave off speed to bring her closer to the Sun, where she will observe solar weather and other phenomena with an impact on the safety of our systems in orbit around the Earth, which deliver crucial services such as GPS, whilst about 33 hours later, BepiColombo, which is another ESA mission, this time shared with the Japanese space agency JAXA, also shaves velocity off as she approaches Mercury. Interestingly, gravity assists are usually associated with gaining velocity to slingshot further out into the depths of the solar system and, thanks to the Voyager probes, beyond it too. Experts often say once you're in orbit, you're halfway to anywhere, and to extend that analogy, once you've made it out to the gas giants, you're 90% of the way to anywhere you like. A well-planned gravity assist or two around these massive planets can provide just the flight profile orbital analysts are looking for when they're building efficient missions. In this case, both of these spacecraft are trying to brake rather than accelerate with the help of Venus's gravity, because it's actually really hard to approach the innermost parts of the solar system without her help. BepiColombo will descend to just 550 kilometers above the surface, which, here on Earth, would be considered to be within low Earth orbit. The ISS sits at just over 400 kilometers in altitude. So it's a very close approach. The University of Leicester developed one of the key instruments aboard BepiColombo, which will use X-ray spectrometry to investigate the surface of the planet, whilst Airbus Defence and Space, them again, manage the spacecraft structures, electrical systems and chemical propulsions on the stage currently in use, the Mercury Transfer Module. So it's literally the UK powering this critical moment in the mission. The spacecraft uses a hyper-efficient electric propulsion system which excites xenon gas to incredible velocities and generates a low-power, long-duration thrust to propel the spacecraft, which was made by UK defence contractor Kinetic. The critical low pass will be transmitted back to Earth in important data transmissions which will no doubt be watched by many nervous engineers. Even that is reliant upon the UK space industry, which built the remote interface units, or radios for want of a better term. If these 2 missions don't demonstrate the UK's readiness to step up as a leader on the world's space stage, it's hard to imagine what greater feats could do so. The UK Space Agency relaunch a successful accelerator program next. Last week, with the help of a few YouTube shares, we had our most successful news roundup ever. Thank you so much to each of you who liked, commented and shared the roundup. You're all so awesome and frankly the entire reason I'm still here producing these roundups. If you'd like to support even further or join the Giant Leap community, you're welcome to join us over on patreon.com/GiantLeap, where you have unfettered access to me, the news that happens, and our famous jobs board, containing not just the job of the week, which is coming soon, but every UK space job that I'm sent or made aware of. So head on over to patreon.com/GiantLeap, there's a link in the description. Thanks. The UK Space Agency continues to support the successful LEO Accelerator programme. Last year, the UK Space Agency sponsored a programme called the LEO Accelerator Programme, which enabled low TRL entrepreneurs to gain access to a people-focused accelerator. The programme was a roaring success, and the UK Space Agency wants to leverage the capability powered by the company Entrepreneurial Spark to continue the programme. Jeremy Ambrose is co-founder and director at Entrepreneurial Spark, who spoke exclusively to Giant Leap. You can go and get your legal support, go out and get accountancy support, but nobody before us was helping entrepreneurs on their own personal journey. He told me of the journey that his business has been on since they started helping entrepreneurs across all industry sectors back in 2011. More recently, when the UK Space Agency wanted to supercharge the efforts of small companies in the space sector, they selected this accelerator as their empowering resource. The call is out now for 20 individuals to join the second iteration of the LEO programme who've already proved their concept but need continued advice on how to make a success of their business journey, with advice spanning from legal to funding, scaling to dealing with the media. Giant Leap will be a mentor on the next iteration of the programme, so if you do decide to sign up, we'll see you there. Describing the programme, Jeremy said, "One thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to set the standard for inclusion, both within the space industry and within the accelerator industry. We're working hard to uncover great entrepreneurs who don't fit the traditional mould so that we ensure equal opportunities." And, hinting at further exciting news to come in the next couple of weeks, he said, "We're excited to be continually working with the entrepreneurs through our first LEO programme, who've come on leaps and bounds, growing into the space sector with our new exciting programme called GEO." More details are likely to come out about both the LEO programme and the GEO programme in the next week or so, but what we do know is that GEO will be a long support package for alumni of the LEO programme to continue the journey of these successful businesses as they break into the space industry. Thanks for talking to me, Jeremy. Looking forward to meeting the bright sparks, engineers, lawyers and other professionals who are going to light up the future of the UK space industry with your support. This week's hashtag Job of the Week comes from Alba Orbital, an Earth observation satellite company based in Glasgow. They're looking for both an electronics design engineer and a satellite licensing and export control administrator, the latter of which is our pick for Job of the Week. This role includes some incredible opportunities to understand how missions come together, including the massively international aspect of almost every single mission which is commercially launched to space. This role will include logistics, learning and understanding how to work with the UK government on exporting and the CAA on getting satellites approved licenses to operate too. It promises to be a great stepping stone into this fast-growing UK industry. I've placed the link to their LinkedIn advert in the description. That's you all caught up. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify or anywhere else there's a like button, please smash it now. It's a great way to ensure Giant Leap gets the support we need to continue bringing you the news. On social media, we're using the hashtag GiantLeap, where we usually post several times a day. If you'd like to be a part of it there, come and join us there. Thanks for checking in, and until next time, remember that every giant leap is set up by thousands of small steps. You've been watching a Giant-Leap.Space News Roundup.